on three. 1, 2, 3. Win!
The alley-oop!
Welcome to another edition of the Natalie Marlowe Show, an in-depth analysis of St. Martin's women's basketball. Coach, what a week it was, where it was a tough game on Thursday against Central Washington and a resounding win against Northwest Nazarene. First to look at Central Washington, and although it did wind up in a loss, so many positives to take away from that game, though.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, obviously the week that our team has gone through has been a lot and very heavy, but I was just proud of how our kids, responded. We had other kids step up and play really big minutes, hit really big shots. A few calls go a different way. Maybe the result ends up a little different, but, we can't sit and play the what-if games. We had a lot that we could control that. We just fell a little short of. But, yeah, I mean, ultimately – we knew it was going to be a dogfight in both games, and Central's a heck of a team. Both Sonny and Asher are both, some of the best GNAC players in the conference as a whole, and, they're on the same team. So it's really hard to pick and choose if you're going to stop one or both or what you can do, and both are capable of having the nights that they did, and unfortunately their shots decided to fall against us. But, yeah, a great team. Randy's a great coach. They came in prepared. They had a good game plan as well. And, a few more shots fall our way, and it could be a different story.
Different story, but you talked about players that stepped up with key absences, and one of those key players was Keely Jade Smith, 21 points, a season high. What stood out on her performance?
Yeah, I don't know if she's got this thing when we go to play at Central Washington or play against Central and NNU, but, she's kind of been on a roller coaster. She's had some good games and had some bad games, and the best thing about Keely is that she's consistent with her effort all the time and her energy. She's one of our captains. She's a leader for us. She brings great energy and great positivity. She's somebody that's always encouraging everybody on the team. Will sacrifice when she needs to and step up when she needs to. So for her to, have the night that she did, hopefully that's building and instilling that confidence that I've had in her since day one, and hoping that she can carry that on into this week.
And then another player that stood out, Turney Reed, on Thursday. She had an all-around week especially, but look more at the win against Northwest Nazarene. You emphasized on Saturday rebounding was important. In many ways, that's how that game was won.
Yep, yeah. And Eternity has been going through her own stuff, with some past injuries and that sort of thing. But I think with, both kids, it's a confidence thing. And the more that they find themselves in those positions in practice, getting reps, the more that they see themselves doing it on the court, and that really, carries over. And they've I's done just an awesome job of bringing really good activeness and energy to practice every day. She's a character in her own way. She does some things that, as a coach, you just kind of shake your head and whatever because it's working. But you love that about her, and that's the kind of personality that we love to have on the team and around the program because she's working really hard. She's dug herself out of a bunch of crap over the last couple of years that she's really been buckled down and locked in. So I'm proud of her and really happy with not only the results but just the effort that she's putting forth because she's trusting herself more. She's trusting her teammates, and the impact is obviously helping us in a positive way.
Big way. And speaking of making an impact, helps when you have a great impact player in 1 year of play. Jada Travis came in and had her season best, 28 points, deep from three, hitting 5 of them. And she had maybe, in some respects, her best game as a Saint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she, on Saturday it was one of those. She didn't have a great game on Thursday, and she's a kid that, she takes it personally without letting it dwell and, sit and hold her back from finding success in the future. So she did a really good job of just believing in herself, trusting her abilities and knowing what she's capable of. She can, similar to what Keely did on Thursday, she's capable. Jada's capable of doing that every night. Sometimes we need her to score 28 or 30. Other times we don't. We need her to be a distributor, and I think that was the best thing about that game on Saturday is that everyone was just themselves. Like, we were very selfless. We moved the ball well. We shared it well. Probably some of the best basketball we've played as a whole. A few defensive slip-ups, but other than that, I mean, as a freshman point guard playing pretty much every minute of every game, she just holds herself to a very high standard. And, the work that she has put in before getting to St. Martin's is a big reason of why I loved her in the recruiting process and watching her get herself to this point. And that is carried over and has translated to the success that she's having for us on the court.
A big reason for St. Martin's and their success recently. We'll talk to Jada Travis in a matter of moments here on Natalie Marlowe Show. But, Coach, look ahead at the week coming up. Western Washington, Simon Fraser, a couple weeks ago, welcoming both the Vikes and the Red Leafs into town, but 2 losses. How important are these 2 games coming up?
Yeah, they're vital. I mean, especially when you look at the standings and, I look at them. I try to encourage our kids not to, because it doesn't matter who you're playing. We got to bring the same effort and energy every night and the same type of execution. But they're huge games for us. We took – I don't necessarily think we underestimated the 2 teams that we came here, but we didn't hold ourselves to the standard that we should coming back from break. And it was a quick turnaround, and, we had a lot of shots that didn't fall our way and bounce our way for both of the games, but we didn't do a good job of executing our game plan in those games either. So, these are 2 that are still pretty fresh, I think, in everyone's minds, and we know we had some things that we let slip through our hands and through our fingers. So, we've been really trying to hone in on how to obviously improve against both teams matchup scouting-wise, but really just trying to make sure that we're getting better in all the ways that we need to finish, the entire season strong. 2 teams that are very capable of beating anybody on any given night, and we're excited to have another go at them.
Thursday, 7 o'clock at Carver Gym. Our friends up at Western Washington will have the call for that one. Carmen Dolfo achieving 700 wins. What has stood out to you from a distance and now in the conference as a coach?
Yeah, she's a legend in Division II basketball and women's basketball. Since I got hired, and her and her staff, they've embraced me, and they've been nothing but gracious to help and just, again, continue to motivate other women in the sport. And I think it's really cool that I have the opportunity to coach against her. And, she's been so gracious in that regard and just giving back to women's basketball in general. But, they're – no matter if they have the season like they've had with a bunch of injuries and stuff, like, they're still finding ways to compete and win a bunch of games, and that's just a testament to how good of a coach she is and how, well-oiled that program is because of her. So, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to, look down and be like, I get a chance to coach against one of the best to do it at this level. So it's really cool, and, again, just to try to learn, like you said, from afar and seeing, like, what it takes to build that consistency year after year, when it comes to recruiting, getting good kids. But you can just see in how they play. They're a very disciplined, very efficient team, take care of the ball well, and they just, they do a great job of teaching their kids how to be a winner.
And then Simon Fraser, it helps when you have Sophia Wazotsky averaging 19 points a game for you. What stands out about the performance that Bruce Langford has done with his program? Yeah,
super. That kid's super talented, right? It's hard to stop her at any given night. But it's kind of crazy when you think about, how successful both coaches has been and, being new to the league. But they just play hard, right? It's a different brand, and it is, just up in pressure and giving you everything they got for 40 minutes. You got kids that can attack the basket and surrounded by kids that can really shoot the ball. So, it's going to be fun. And, again, I feel like we let one slip away here when we had them, but they haven't skipped a beat as far as what they're capable of doing.
Both teams well equipped for what should be a great matchup on Thursday against Western Washington and on Saturday against Simon Fraser. Now let's head to our interview with Jada Travis. Back here on the Natalie Marlowe Show alongside Jada Travis. And Jada, big win against Northwest Nazarene, one of your best games so far with St. Martin's, a 28-point performance, hitting 5 threes. And you've played a lot of games during your time, but Jada, where did that one stack up compared to some of the games you played previously?
I think that was definitely one of my best games so far. My shot was falling. It felt really good. I'm trying not to get too high, too low throughout the season. Just be level-headed.
And be composed the entire way through. And so far, the adjustment, playing in high school for 4 years at Bellarmine, and then you play in college. And what has the adjustment been like for you personally?
This summer was really important for me. I took the process really seriously. Like, I was in the gym working out every day, whether that be on the court or off the court. So that way, coming into college, I was prepared, and I knew it was coming, and I'm ready. I'm here for it.
Hey, we talked on Saturday about your dad and what he's meant to you in your game. How big was he this summer in prep for college?
He's always pushed me to be better, you know. There's other people coming in. He's expecting the best for me each and every time I step on the court. So,
always a massive force into what makes you go offensively and defensively. But look at your time at Bellarmine and a lot of great memories during a time. And what stands out through your 4 years and your story at Bellarmine?
what stands out is probably my junior year. Probably the viral half-court shot. That was probably one of the most significant moments of my basketball career. And coming into my senior year, it was really hard to kind of just flush that and get that out of my system. But I knew what I had to do. I needed some offers coming out of high school because I didn't have anywhere to play at. So it was big. Like, I needed to make a statement so somebody could pick me up and believe in me.
What did the process look like in you coming to St. Martin's and Natalie reaching out to you to be a part of the St. community?
I talked to Marlowe for a couple of games, but it was after my Sumner game. We were getting blown out, but I knew it was important that I had good body language. I continued to play hard, continue being a good teammate, and I think that's why Marlowe recruited me to be here.
And that really good Sumner team out there in the Valley. But also look at your time, couple key players that you played with and some even playing in this conference. Who stands out about some of your best teammates at Bellarmine?
Probably Kiera Langang, Kiera Stone. She's up at Alaska Anchorage. She took a tough knee injury, but she's coming back, and I know she'll be ready to play soon. So, yeah.
Who stood out as far as leadership at Bellarmine that have meant the most to you in your development?
I'd probably have to say Kiera Stone. That's been my childhood best friend, and we've grown up together. So for us to be able to play together in high school, it meant a lot, and I'm hoping her a good recovery and a good start at Anchorage.
We'll see what Kiera is able to do over with the Seawolves and a lot of great people and in leadership at Bellarmine. Well, we got a little bit of a surprise for you.
Oh, gosh.
Here with the athletic director for Jada Travis, Kevin Minas. And Kevin, you were a witness to Jada Travis during her high school career. What stands out about her as a player?
Well, the number one thing was her competitiveness. She was a fierce competitor. There was no stopping her when she set her mind to something. She was fearless out there on the floor. And the other thing is that she made people better, right? People think of her as a scorer, right? She was a flat-out scorer. But she could also make people better by seeing the floor, distributing the ball. She made some passes where I would just scratch my head. How did she see that kid? How did she get the ball there? So I loved watching Jada play. She was and is one of the best players that we've ever produced. So I'm really proud of her and everything that she's doing at St. Martin's. I would have predicted it from the beginning. She's just a fantastic human being and a great player.
What makes her stand out as a person?
You know, I think Jada really is empathetic, right? She understands that, she can't do it by herself, and she needs to lift her teammates up. And I think that showed in the way that she handled herself on the court. Both she and Kiera, they both really did a great job of leading a young group of kids and making sure that they were the show. They were the best players, but they knew they couldn't do it without the other people on the floor, and that really made them great teammates as well.
And what has impressed you so far this season with Jada during her time at St. Martin's?
No, I think she's just picking up where we left off. I think, people had some question, oh, maybe she's too small, different things like that. She's got the heart of a competitor. She plays like a 6-foot player out there, rebounding. She defends really well, but she's just got a high basketball IQ, and that's something you can't teach, right? She understands the game as well as anybody I've ever seen.
That was Kevin Minas, the athletic director for Bellarmine and currently the girls' head coach. Kevin, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
What does Kevin mean to you? I know he wasn't your coach, but being the athletic director, you certainly had a lot of conversations with Kevin during your time at Bellarmine.
We went through a couple of coaches during my time there, so Minus stepped up a couple of days, and he was just there for me, somebody I could talk to, somebody to encourage me to be better, and I really appreciate him and everything he's done for me, so those words mean a lot.
Kevin Minas, the athletic director for Jada Travis during her time in high school. But Jada, thanks for the time. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Natalie Marlowe Show with more of an in-depth analysis of St. Martin's University athletics basketball.